There comes a moment when you step into a room and something feels off. You can feel in the air a shift so subtle yet undeniable. Eyes dart away too quickly. Smiles are polite but don't reach their full warmth, or worse. You're met with an awkward silence that screams louder than words. It's as though you've become invisible, or even worse, unwelcome. And while no one says anything outright, the message is clear. Something about your presence isn't aligning with how others perceive you. But here's the twist. It's rarely who you are at your core. More often, it's the habits you carry unconsciously, like invisible baggage, that quietly sabotage your relationships and reputation without you realizing it. I've been there too, stuck in patterns that turn me into my own biggest obstacle. The silver lining? Change is absolutely within reach, and it begins with self-awareness. Inspired by Stoic wisdom, let's explore 7 habits that might be eroding your connections with others, and discover how Stoicism provides a timeless roadmap for breaking free from them. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. If these insights resonate with you, consider subscribing, because what follows could transform the way people see you forever. Let's face it, we've all fallen prey to this habit at some point. There's something primal, almost magnetic, about the pull of gossip. Sharing juicy details or dissecting someone else's life can create a fleeting sense of camaraderie. It makes us feel included, in the know. But beneath its seemingly harmless surface lies a hidden danger. Gossip cuts both ways. While it may offer a temporary bond, every word spoken behind someone's back plants seeds of doubt in the minds of those listening. They begin to wonder, if they're talking about them now, what will they say about me when I'm not around? That's where trust starts to crumble. Gossip doesn't build bridges, it erects walls. People won't confide in you, share their vulnerabilities, or open up if they fear their private moments will become public fodder the moment they leave the room. I once believed gossip made me relatable, a way to connect with others effortlessly. But over time, I realized it had the opposite effect. Conversation stayed shallow because no one trusted me with anything deeper. My relationships suffered, and so did my credibility. Enter Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in focusing only on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and words. Gossip stands in direct opposition to this principle. It diverts precious mental energy toward things beyond our influence, fueling drama that does nothing to help us grow. Instead of indulging in idle chatter, why not redirect that energy towards self-improvement? As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. When you shift your focus to what you can control, you rise above the noise. Rather than engaging in gossip, ask yourself, what can I improve within myself? This simple reframing has the power to transform not just your mindset, but also how others view you. When you refuse to participate in gossip, you cultivate a reputation as someone who values integrity and discretion. People take notice, even if they don't say it aloud, and deep down, they respect you for it. And the peace of mind that accompanies such authenticity, that's worth infinitely more than the hollow thrill of gossip. We've all experienced it. You might have caught yourself saying, "I'm fine," when deep down you're anything but. Or perhaps you've reluctantly agreed to something out of a misplaced sense of duty, while secretly boiling over with irritation. It seems like a clever way to sidestep conflict. After all, you're not being openly confrontational. Instead, your frustration seeps out in small, veiled ways. But here's the catch. Passive aggression is like trying to send an urgent message through a broken transmitter. It creates confusion and leaves everyone stranded without resolution. At one point, I believed that passive-aggressive behavior was the ultimate workaround for handling disagreements. Why engage in direct confrontation when you can subtly hint at your discontent? The reality, however, is starkly different. No one possesses the ability to read minds, and even if they could, deciphering your cryptic signals would likely exhaust them. Instead of resolving issues, passive aggression only tightens the knot of tension. You grow increasingly frustrated because others fail to decode your hidden cues, and they, in turn, feel bewildered by your unspoken grievances. It's akin to playing a game no one volunteered for, a draining exercise that leaves both parties feeling exasperated and unsure. Enter Stoicism, which provides a refreshingly straightforward solution. The Stoics champion honesty and clear communication. Marcus Aurelius wisely noted that speaking the truth plainly paves the way to harmony. When you resort to passive aggression, you mask your authentic emotions out of fear of conflict. Yet avoiding confrontation doesn't erase the problem. It merely allows resentment to fester and multiply. Being candid about your feelings may feel uncomfortable initially, but it is profoundly liberating. By addressing issues directly, you eliminate emotional gamesmanship, freeing yourself and fortifying your relationships. People admire honesty even when it stings. Moreover, as you shed passive-aggressive habits, you'll find yourself respecting your own integrity more deeply. Then there's the perpetual excuse maker, the person who always has a ready alibi. Missed a deadline? The Wi-Fi crashed. Late to a meeting? Traffic was unbearable. Didn't complete a task? I wasn't aware of the deadline. Shifting blame feels safer than facing criticism head-on. But here's the brutal truth. Every time you dodge accountability, you stunt your growth. And yes, people are watching. When you consistently deflect responsibility, you become someone others cannot depend on. You project an image of unreliability, signaling that you lack the courage to own your actions. Worse still, each evasion robs you of a chance to learn, adapt, and evolve. Stoic philosophy offers a transformative perspective. Epictetus captured it perfectly. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that defines you. Blaming external factors or other people surrenders your power. You're essentially declaring, I am not in control. But the Stoics taught that the only domain we truly govern is our own conduct and reactions. Embracing responsibility, no matter how daunting, is empowering. It means owning your missteps, extracting lessons from them, and emerging stronger. When you begin to take full accountability for your actions, you cultivate a reputation as someone trustworthy and dependable. People will respect you, not just for your achievements, but for your unwavering commitment to learning from your errors and striving for improvement. Here are a few habits that might be silently sabotaging your ability to forge deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Stoicism provides a timeless and powerful blueprint for breaking free from these self-limiting patterns, empowering you to craft a life rooted in authenticity, integrity, and inner peace. Perfection isn't the goal, progress is. It's about taking deliberate, mindful steps forward, one at a time, toward becoming the best version of yourself. 1. Owning your mistakes, the Stoic path to freedom. Taking full responsibility for your errors is one of the most transformative actions you can take. Why? Because owning your mistakes is the first step toward meaningful change. When you claim accountability, you unlock the power to repair, learn, and grow. You break the cycle of repetition and create space for improvement. I'll never forget a moment early in my career when I missed a critical deadline. My gut reaction was to fall back on familiar excuses. There was too much on my plate, I didn't receive the email, or it's a technical glitch. But something inside me shifted. I realized those excuses wouldn't fix anything. They wouldn't erase the fact that I had dropped the ball. So, I chose a different path. I walked into my boss's office and said, I messed up. I mismanaged my time. But I'm committed to ensuring this doesn't happen again. The result? My boss didn't explode with anger. Instead, they respected me more for owning up. That experience became a pivotal lesson in Stoicism. Taking responsibility isn't a sign of weakness. It's an act of courage. It's about reclaiming control over your life. By owning your actions, You stop being a passive victim of circumstances and start steering your own ship. People don't admire perfection. They admire authenticity. And here's the truth. No one expects you to be flawless. What they want and respect is accountability. When you can look at a situation and say, I could have done better, you're already on the path to growth. Real respect, both from others and yourself, comes from owning your journey. One of the hardest truths I've learned is that excuses are chains. They trap you in mediocrity, keeping you stuck in a cycle of blame and stagnation. If you always point fingers at others, you rob yourself of the opportunity to improve. But when you stop making excuses and start taking ownership, everything shifts. You begin to see where you can grow, and instead of running from your mistakes, you face them head on. And the best part? The people around you will trust you more because they know you're someone who takes responsibility when things go wrong. So, the next time you feel the urge to shift blame, pause and ask yourself, what part of this is within my control? You might be surprised by how much you can own. Embrace responsibility and watch as the respect and trust from others deepen. 2. Self-care, a reflection of inner discipline. Caring for yourself, both inwardly and outwardly, isn't just a luxury. It's a necessity for earning personal respect and shaping how others perceive you. Hygiene may seem like a basic practice, but it speaks volumes about your self-discipline and self-worth. Think about the person who neglects their hygiene, whether it's skipping showers, ignoring dental care, or failing to maintain their physical health. While it may seem minor, it sends a subtle but powerful message. They don't value themselves enough to invest in their well-being. Stoicism teaches us that how we care for our bodies mirrors our internal state. Neglecting your physical self can signal disorganization, laziness, or unreliability, even if that's not your intention. On the flip side, prioritizing self-care demonstrates discipline, self-respect, and a commitment to living intentionally. When you take care of your body, you're not just improving your external appearance. You're nurturing your mind and spirit. In essence, self-care is more than routine. It's a declaration of self-worth. By honoring your body and mind, you signal to the world and to yourself that you are worthy of care, attention, and respect. Everything is interconnected. The silver lining? Hygiene is one area where you hold complete control. It's a straightforward yet profound way to declare that you're the master of your own destiny. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher king, emphasized cleanliness as an essential form of self-discipline. Even on days when motivation feels distant, maintaining your hygiene becomes an act of personal accountability, a quiet rebellion against apathy. When life feels heavy, skipping these rituals might seem tempting, but doing so only pulls you further into despair. A warm shower or brushing your teeth may feel insignificant, yet they possess the power to anchor you, offering a sense of order amidst chaos. This isn't about impressing others. It's about honoring yourself by caring for the vessel that carries you through life. Feeling fresh and presentable can make even the toughest challenges feel surmountable. And yes, those around you will take notice. Not because you're polishing your image for them, but because your effort radiates authenticity. That's the essence of Stoicism, striving to be your highest self, regardless of external circumstances. Now, let's address chronic complaining, a habit that subtly erodes both our mindset and relationships. Everyone vents occasionally, but there's a fine line between expressing frustration and allowing complaints to dominate your narrative. Some individuals find fault everywhere. The room's too hot, the coffee too bland, the Wi-Fi too sluggish, an endless spiral of dissatisfaction. If this sounds familiar, pause and ask yourself, could I be guilty of this pattern? Persistent complaining does more than release steam. It shapes how people perceive you. Negativity repels, and over time, others may distance themselves from someone who constantly dwells on problems rather than solutions. Stoicism reminds us that while we can't dictate what happens to us, we can choose our response. Complaining traps you in a cycle of helplessness, reinforcing negative judgments instead of fostering resilience. As Epictetus wisely noted, our suffering stems not from events themselves, but from how we interpret them. Each complaint feeds those interpretations, chaining you to a loop of discontent. This energy could be better spent focusing on what you can influence. Shift your perspective. When you silence complaints, opportunities for growth emerge. People gravitate toward optimists, problem solvers, and those who uplift. By practicing gratitude, even for life's smallest blessings, you transform your outlook and break free from negativity's grip. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, empowering you to see possibilities instead of obstacles. The choice is clear. If you've been mired in cycles of poor hygiene or relentless complaining, now is the moment to pivot. Take charge of your habits, embrace responsibility, and cultivate gratitude. Not only will others respect you more deeply, but you'll also discover a renewed sense of confidence and purpose. Instead of being weighed down by complaints, become the person who inspires solutions. Life becomes lighter, brighter, and infinitely more fulfilling when you commit to progress over pessimism. Transforming your habits not only brings about noticeable change in you, but also earns the admiration of those around you. The next time you feel the urge to complain, whether it's about the weather, your job, or something as minor as an imperfect cup of coffee, pause and ask yourself, can I do anything to change this? If the answer is no, follow up with another question. Is this truly worth my energy? Rather than succumbing to the familiar pattern of grumbling, challenge yourself to uncover at least one small thing to be grateful for. This subtle yet profound shift will not only alter how others perceive you, but also reshape how you view yourself. At its heart, this practice aligns with Stoicism, which emphasizes our power to choose how we respond to life circumstances. Chronic lateness is another habit that subtly creeps into our lives. What might seem like harmless delays, a few minutes here or there, can accumulate over time. Before long, you become the person who is perpetually late, and people begin to anticipate it. Whether consciously or not, this sends a clear message. My time is more valuable than yours. I once prided myself on being fashionably late, convinced it added some mysterious allure to my persona. But let's face it, there's nothing glamorous about tardiness. When you're consistently late, what you're really communicating is a lack of regard for others' time. Over time, I came to realize that chronic lateness wasn't merely about poor time management. It revealed deeper issues, such as a lack of respect for others and even my own unease about fully engaging in situations. Stoicism teaches us the importance of discipline and showing up fully for life, and that includes punctuality. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, every moment is irreplaceable because time is a resource we can never reclaim. By arriving late, you disrespect not only others' time, but your own as well. Being late often has less to do with managing time poorly and more to do with avoidance. Evading a meeting that makes you uneasy or sidestepping a difficult conversation you'd rather ignore. Stoicism encourages us to confront discomfort directly instead of shying away from it. Habitual lateness becomes a way of postponing the inevitable. It's about embracing responsibility and honoring your commitments. When you start valuing both others' time and your own, you signal that you respect both. You transform into someone who is dependable, trustworthy, and fully engaged. Breaking the cycle of lateness required significant changes in my life. I began setting alarms earlier, planning my days with greater intention, and, most crucially, shifting my mindset. Instead of thinking, being 5 minutes late isn't a big deal, I started believing I want to honor this commitment by arriving fully present and on time. That mental shift made all the difference. Not only did others take notice, but I felt better too. No longer was I rushing in at the last minute, stressed and frazzled. Instead, I approached situations calmly, prepared, and ready to engage. If you're someone who's always running behind schedule, it's time for a transformation, not just for the sake of others, but for your own growth. Start by honestly examining why you're late. Are you avoiding something? Are you failing to prioritize your time effectively? Once you identify the root causes, you can implement changes. Set alarms earlier, leave 10 minutes ahead of when you think you need to, and adopt the Stoic principle of presence. As you commit to these practices, you'll gain more respect from others and, most importantly, from yourself. Being punctual isn't merely about respecting others. It's about valuing your own time and the fleeting moments you have. Finally, adopting a victim mentality is among the most disempowering habits we can develop. It's tempting to fall into this mindset when things go awry. Why does this always happen to me? Or it's not my fault. It's just bad luck. While it may offer temporary comfort to believe that life is conspiring against you, this perspective traps you in a cycle of helplessness. Playing the victim robs you of your agency. You relinquish control of your life to external circumstances, other people, or forces beyond your influence. Though it may provide short-term solace, it ultimately serves as a form of self-sabotage. The antidote lies in reclaiming your power. Recognize that while you cannot control everything that happens to you, you can always choose how you respond. By shifting from a mindset of victimhood to one of empowerment, you unlock the ability to create meaningful change in your life. Stoicism offers a timeless truth. While we can't dictate every event that unfolds, we hold absolute power over how we respond to it. As Epictetus wisely put it, it's not the events themselves, but our reaction to them that defines us. Choosing to adopt a victim mentality means handing over your agency and accepting that you're powerless in shaping what comes next. But here's the reality. You have far more control than you realize. Life is unpredictable. It will test you with unexpected twists and turns. Yet, the real question isn't why these challenges arise. It's how you choose to navigate them. Instead of lamenting, "Why is this happening to me?" shift your focus to, "What lesson lies within this? How can I emerge stronger?" The tendency to play the victim often stems from fear. Fear of failure, fear of inadequacy, or even fear of acknowledging personal responsibility. It's easier to